Alright, here we go.
Okay then. Okay, this is my Science Smartboard lesson for Science and Communications 2100 by Lizelle Reynolds, which is on the Smartboard. So, this is one of the topics that I have chosen for my Smartboard lesson, which is called the Uncanny Valley Crash Course. This is just a picture to show the kids why does this picture freak you out so much. Yeah, we've got clowns and stuff, but why doesn't Dolly from Toy Story freak us out? And there are some other differentiations of different types of pictures. This is the Uncanny Valley graph, which I will be explaining about how the familiarity of certain things in our lives, like robots and even android robots, they're okay in stuffed animals, but when it comes down to corpses or zombies, it's something that is dead but is living and animated, which kind of gives us the heebie-jeebies. And of course we've got a healthy normal person. Where the graph goes down here and dips is the Uncanny Valley, and that's what we'll be talking about today. It's a behavioural science problem, especially for CGI characters, and Disney had a lot of problems with the Uncanny Valley, especially in their brand new movie Mars Needs Moms. The mothers were too realistic and it freaked the test audience out a little bit. Same goes with Shrek. When they first brought in Shrek, they were very scared of Princess Fiona because she was too human-like, and her movements were very fluid and they didn't like it, so they had to cartoon her a little bit more to stop that freaking out. Now I've got some robots here, pictures of robots of course. Arnie, good old Terminator. A woman who lost her arm in a very bad accident, who got a robotic arm installed to help her with everyday life, and that's from another movie too, with a robot inside its head. Here we have one of the real Simpsons, which falls into the Uncanny Valley. They have been humanised, and it looks a little bit eerie to us because we're so used to seeing them in cartoon-like form with the yellow. This is if they were human, and it kind of weirds you out a little bit. It's the same goes with SpongeBob and Stewie from Family Guy. So, the whole theory was invented by a guy named Masaru Mori, who is a Japanese robotics professor. And in 1970, he came up with the theory about the Uncanny Valley. And he's brilliant. He created robots and also prototypes such as these, which is the HRP-4C Japanese robot, which was released in 2006, 2005. It's made out of silicon. It can show emotion, and it's this close to winning the Best Human Android Award. But now they've brought in a new one, which was released in 2010, which is a baby robot, and it shows emotion, it shows anger. It also has face recognition, so it has cameras inside its head that can recognise certain faces for who they belong to. So it's pretty good stuff. And this is just a picture to show which one is the robot. That one's the robot. So, okay, so that was the Uncanny Valley. I have a maze game to show the kids, but it takes a little while, so we'd have to wait after the lesson with questions too. Alright, next topic is making salt. And making salt, of course, we find every day in our oceans, on our tables, use it in food, use it to preserve things. It's a very, very valuable tool that we have in our world. The two elements of salt is sodium and chlorine, are very unstable elements, especially chlorine, which is a gas, and it can harm you if you breathe it in. It's an asphyxiant. And sodium is a rock, is very, very volatile. Combining those two together, you have a neutralization of an acid and a base, causing an exothermic reaction by the transfer of electrons. Now, the acid that is being used is, of course, sodium, and the base is the chlorine. And the chlorine wants the ions, but the sodium wants to give away. And it's very, very explosive. For example, an acid and a base combining together causes an exothermic reaction, which means it releases heat, causing a kaboom. This is a reaction of sodium chloride under lab conditions, very controlled, but we won't show it at the moment. We'll have to put it in the lesson. Okay, so we asked the class, how long does a chicken live for? Is it 1 or 2 years, 3 to 4 years, 15 to 20 years, or I don't know? And the answer of that, of course, is 3 to 4 years. However, Dr. Alexis Carrel, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for Physiology and Medicine in 1912, he kept a chicken's heart alive in a salt solution for 27 years. And it's a very long time. Eventually, he stopped the experiment voluntarily because he said, I have just proven that cells do have immortality, and it's because of salt. This is Salar del Uyuni, which is in Bolivia. It's one of the largest salt flats in the world. It's also got 70% of the world's resources in lithium. And it creates, when it rains, it creates like a sheet, like a mirror-like illusion on the surface, causing this beautiful, 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 beautiful atmosphere, beautiful, lovely landscape. And it's one of the 7 wonders of the world these days. Very natural, very lovely. So that's it. The next topic that I have is optical illusions. As you can see, I've just put a picture there. Does it look like it's spinning? If you can see it spin. That's because of your eyes. They have involuntary eye movement and they shake a little bit. That's why it makes it look like as if they're spinning. This is how the eye works. And we have an image that we see in front of us, but at the back of our retinas over here, the image is inversed, aka being upside down, and our brain, through the optic nerve, goes up to our brain, just scrambles it all up to make sure that when it goes back through the eye, it comes back as the right way up. So that's a little way of showing the kids how it works. So we can use this information with our eye, and we hope with optical illusions to pretty much exploit the brain and how it works when it sees an image. For example, the little tricks that we see, like if you've got 2 different images, which is a frog and a horse, they look completely the same. But you turn your head sideways, and what can you see? What can you see? No. It's the same image. That turned into a horse, and that turned into a frog. So this is another one with your perception of light and colours. If you stare at the black dot, and you can look, and it just transfers that colour pigment up to the sky, which is great. And then I've got another couple of more exercises that the kids can go through, some to definitely alter and change the way that you see things. And that's another example, just another example. The reason why it flicks like that is because eventually, after you stare at that for a couple of seconds, it starts to look 3D. So that's why it does that. That one is another movement one with rapid eye movement. And this is a Lego drawing of MC Escher's Infinite Staircase. And that's one. Are they going up or down? Parallel lines. Beautiful. So that's the end of my smartboard lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully that was all right. So there we go. And fin.